U.S. intelligence agency mind control.
I cannot wait to hear what he has to say.
That was former President Donald Trump just moments ago saying he is ready to testify. After the stage got set, the 18 people who will determine his fate have been seated in his hush money trial in New York. Opening arguments will begin this Monday. The big developments today, among them, the judge ruling that prosecutors will not have to give advance notice of the witness list to Trump's legal team because the former president cannot be trusted not to post about them. Team Trump will, however, get one name on Sunday night. Trump railing against the gag order imposed by the judge that limits what he can publicly say about witnesses. He says it's time to take the muzzle off.
They've taken away my constitutional rights to speak, and that includes speaking to you. I have a lot to say to you, and I'm not allowed to say it. And I'm the only one. Everyone else can say whatever they want about me. They can say anything they want. They can continue to make up lies and everything else. They lie. They're real scum. But you know what? I'm not allowed to speak. And I want to be able to speak to the press and everybody else about it. So why am I gagged about telling the truth? The judge has to take off this gag order.
But some in the liberal media don't care about fairness. It seems like all they want to see is the former president thrown in jail.
Put him in jail? At the same time,
Joey, is that what you're saying?
Why not? That's exactly what I'm saying, Jim. I mean, look, yes, I get he's a former president. How else are you going to maintain decorum? How else are you going to maintain respect?
Because he's an ex-president.
Yeah.
But it's even more incumbent on the court in this process to hold Trump accountable. And I don't think fines are going to do it. I think he needs to sit in a cell. He should be put in a cell and contemplate his behavior.
But Stephen A. Smith has a message for them. He's putting Democrats on blast and accusing them of using the courts against Trump.
That appears to be their strategy, but I'm here to tell you, it's not working. It's not working at all. And to be quite honest with you, I don't mind the fact that it's not working because I might not be a supporter of Donald Trump, but I want him to lose the right way. I want him to lose because you have better ideas and you make your case to the American people better than he does.
Shut up.
All right, that was Stephen A. Smith. I mean, Jesse, does he have a point? I mean, this is the former president. Shouldn't he get a fair shake here? And has the media gone too far with just calling to lock him up?
Brilliant move by Democrats. You're indicting this guy so many times, and then he can't talk about how unfair it is. You're rigging the election, and he says you're rigging the election, and he gets thrown in jail for saying you're rigging this election. This is probably the best campaign strategy. The Democrats
no. He got hushed.
I don't know if it's
he got hushed
I don't think
because
it's Stephen
he
A's right.
threatened
He sent Johnny out everywhere.
the judge's
Black
daughter.
Americans, Hispanic Americans,
Jesse.
young and old Americans alike. They've had it with Biden. Never met a Biden fan in my life through Johnny, and except my mother. And so this could be a landslide that nobody sees coming because of how unfair this is.
Is that actually what happened? Yeah. This most recent
It was
one?
his-
Yeah.
it was
the daughter. Oh my god. Yeah. Like
He's
he
a
sent
fucking moron.
He like makes threats about the judge and shit.
He's an idiot.
That's why you get gagged, bro.
Make them put me in jail. I would have a tweet about something maybe perhaps I said on the 5 or Jesse Waters primetime, and I would force them to throw me in jail if I were Donald Trump. The mugshot backfired. The indictments have been backfired. Being a martyr in jail for maybe, what, a day, 24 hours? I think that would be
Jesse
good.
can't go to jail.
He can't go to jail?
Jesse can't.
Oh, I can't go to jail. No, I absolutely could not. But I would if I was running for president because it would probably help. Couldn't hurt. And if they make him testify, do you think Donald Trump's going to testify? I don't know if he's going to testify. I would probably not testify and go to jail instead. That's what I would do.
Harold, does Jesse have a point? I mean, this is starting to make it
No.
look like Democrats just don't like fairness.
Well, I push back totally on that notion about Democrats and Republicans. He's under indictment. He says he's innocent. I believe he's innocent until he's proven guilty. I would employ a different strategy if I was indicted. I would have my lawyers.
True. He's innocent until proven guilty. Yes,
Yeah.
and it's nothing like oh my god, bro. Like the jury selection. Like can we just talk about like how strict it's been for just to find
Very,
the jurors
yes.
to be impartial?
Just to get a fair fucking jury. Like, obviously they're going through extra steps to make sure that it's as
Yeah.
perceptibly fair
like
as
we
possible.
still don't have a 2-tiered justice system right now. He's just that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You could basically get away with anything as president, and somehow he was so bad and he took it so far.
Yep. Insane.
laying out my case, and I would be outdoors after
they're
a day
coming.
of court saying, here's what happened, here's why, what happened today in court proved that. This president has a
John,
unique
they're
way of
coming.
defending himself, a unique way of articulating points. He said, Jesse, and then when he was walking in, the press asked him the question, he said, I would testify, so we will see if the president, he has that right. He has the right not to testify.
Brace for
I
impact.
think one of the things, in fairness to the guy you put up there on CNN, I had that up on one of my screens in my office earlier.
One of his
maybe it was yesterday or
screens.
today. And I thought what he was responding to was whether or not if the president violates the court's orders, would he be arrested? Not just arrest him. Maybe I misunderstood the way the
Where's
point
the
was being
fat dude?
introduced.
Has he already spoken?
And I'm torn there. I don't know. I think if
Oh, here
you
he
don't,
goes.
and I'd be.
I just want to hear
Stalker,
what the
pretty
fat
sure we
dude
knew he
has
was
to
guilty.
say.
9 months. The list goes on, and yet here, 3 days.
Is this
Joker
the
turned
lib?
out charges about the star witness who has been convicted of perjury and worse, that he's let free to taint a possible jury. And let's talk about the impaneled jury. So here it took 3 days. Yes, sir.
Oh, here we
after
go.
8 years.
They're going to twist it so the jury selection sounds bad, even though this is exactly what you want.
These charges were brought. Jury impaneled after 3 days. Yeah. Interesting how it took 2 months to impanel Joker Tsarnaev's Boston Marathon bombing trial. You know how long it took to impanel Scott Peterson's trial? 4 months. The Night Stalker, pretty sure we knew he was.
Bro, they're fucking murderers. This is a polarizing political figure. What the fuck are you talking about?
Bro, also, it's like like a hush money case of him
Yes.
paying media to work along to have media help cover up something because he thought it would be bad electorally.
Mhm.
Like John, do you know who John Kerry is?
Yeah.
So no, it's not John Edwards actually is his name. John Edwards. Sorry, I
No.
got confused. So John Edwards was like a front runner. I think he might have been Kerry's vice president, but his scandal was just like this, except his wife was dying of cancer. And he was like screwing his campaign aid, right? And it came out, then the evidence came out, and basically he got away with it legally with the hush money stuff. He got away with it legally by saying he just didn't want his wife dying of cancer to know it. Well, it had nothing to do with his campaign, right? So Trump has to make that argument, and that's basically the only argument he can make is like, oh, I just didn't want my wife to find out, and he has to convince people of that.
Guilty 9 months. The list goes on, and yet here, 3 days. Trump's at trial, and the NYPD officer is at trial for getting punched. The list
you
goes
got to
on.
roll them sleeves up, okay? Forget the gag order. Keep it in the streets because that's what's building him momentum. We're all paying attention. President Trump going to jail will be right up there with Martha Stewart. He will see from the inside, and then when he gets elected, he's going to have amazing prison reform. He's going to fix stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be like Jesse with delicate skin and good hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to go in there, he'll come out with some cornrows, and he will be excited. I'm telling you, this is the best thing for him to fight it, keep it in the public.
You mean he's going to go to jail for tax evasion, right?
His mindset. That it's
like
the fact that you're
Martha
gonna go to
Stewart,
jail.
is that what we're implying here?
Keep it out when you come walking out. Do it. Let them cuff you. Let them, because you know what? More American people identify with being, pardon my language on the 5, screwed over by the system to see somebody. This is modern day living martyrdom. He's going to be, and Stephen A., you gave us the word egregious. This is egregious. And I don't agree with much.
I thought
Stephen
it
A.
was
on political stuff, but I agree on this. I'm willing to go out on national. Stephen A., let's take a bet. You're a Knicks fan. I'm a Celtic fan. If they meet in the finals, loser has to wear their other team's colors for a whole week. Keep it up, Stephen A. He's just like White Lightning. That's what we call ourselves when we were a tag team in wrestling. But Mr. President.
Cringe. Bert Kreischer basically just posted a dick pic, so that's cool. That's what I wanted to say on my Twitter feed.
Do you see that the news posted a ball sack?
No.
There was the eclipse, and then some guy's balls come in from the top. And
That's
they're like,
hilarious.
oops.
That's so funny.
Oh, PBS.
I'm not sure. This might just be him walking.
That case is a threat, it's a whack job.
Oh, here we go.
Long before a lot of people thought the judge wants this to go as fast as possible. That's for his reasons, not for my reasons. And this is really a concerted witch hunt. Very simple. Everything you heard in there, this is a witch hunt by numerous judges, Democrat judges. You take a look at it, and
Soros judges.
What he did was a disgrace. It's being reviewed by the Intelligence Division. And I hope they do justice because everybody's looking, and no business is coming into the city, none whatsoever. They're looking
None.
at cases that
No
threaten
business.
to democracy, frankly, what took place with the AG, a crooked AG, Letitia James, who campaigned in the fact that I'm going to get Trump. That's all she said for 2 years. And
Okay.
people don't want to see this stuff. Where you have violent criminals all over the street.
Okay, I don't actually give a shit what he has to say.
Let's get to the self-immolation.
One more and then that. The juror crying.
Hey, snowboarding.
Snowboarding. Burton. I've been snowboarding for years. Snowboarding requires money.
CNN's chief legal analyst, Laura Coates, is still live in front of the Manhattan courthouse. Laura, what's happening right now?
What a day this has been. We are that much closer to getting the 18 jurors that are needed. That's the 12 plus the 6 alternates, who those alternates, by the way, might very well be needed over the course of the next several weeks as this trial goes on. We know now that the questioning will be the same for the alternates. They have the same standards they must meet as being not only qualified to be on the jury, they'll have the same questioning, the same voir dire, lots of details about whether they could truly be impartial. We're hearing a lot of questions from the prosecution, and of course, then the defense on this issue will have about 25 minutes per total to talk to the entire jury pool of alternates who will also be seated. The jury alternates, they are aware likely that they in fact will be alternates, but they will have the same requirement to be attentive and to listen because they might have to assume the role of one of the deliberating jurors at the end of the conclusion of this trial. We know that if this wraps up this morning, later on today, they'll have the examination of what's known as a Sandoval hearing, a phrase you're going to hear a lot. That's just lawyer speak for.
You reckon you could be impartial?
Of what might come up should he choose to testify.
If
They
you got
laid out a
called for
number of
jury?
categories that might be included in that realm, and so he'll have that hearing later on today with an
Like specifically for this trial, do you think you could be impartial?
It's amazing. A big and tasty for just $1? How do you do it? What's your secret?
I don't pay any federal taxes.
What?
Do you reckon you could be impartial if you got called for jury on this trial?
I can be impartial on anything, but I would choose not to be on this trial because I don't want I don't want to get fucking killed by a fucking psychopath who wants
Fair
to
enough.
fucking smash my head in with a brick.
Fair enough.
No,
Fair enough.
it's like me. It's like, hey, you want to fucking be on the mob boss fucking conviction jury? No.
eye towards not only potentially opening statements on Monday, but also the gag order hearing that has not been resolved yet that will happen on Tuesday. I want to bring in right now the Kristen Holmes, who's got some breaking news for us about what at least one juror is saying about the pressure. Kristen, what are we hearing?
Yeah, this is really fascinating because it goes to show you just how intense this process is for some of these people. They believe that they could be fair and impartial. They believe they could sit on the jury. They have sat through rounds of questioning. And now we have one juror.
I disagree.
I
think it's going to be
we're
very
gonna
quick.
milk it. We're gonna milk those tits. We're gonna milk those fat Trump tits. We're gonna milk them out. We're gonna get all the milkers out of those things.
To see if they would become an alternate. And this is in the, basically the prosecution is now doing their questioning, the 30 minutes of questioning. She began crying when she was
God,
handed the
oh
microphone
my
during the
God,
questioning
I
and
would
said,
I
"I'm
would
sorry,
so
I
get
thought I could
assigned
do
this
this. I
shit in
wouldn't
New
want
York
someone
and
who
have to
feels
fucking
this
sit
way
out
to
here
judge my
with
case
gloves
either."
on and a
They went
coat
on to
all
say,
day,
"I don't want to feel
waiting
like
for
I've wasted
court
someone's
updates.
time.
I'm
This is
like,
just so much
can you
more
imagine?
stressful
I
than I thought
would
it would
hate
be."
to be her.
Easy job.
Well, I think she specifically is the person who gets to go inside. What about her? One of them does. Someone does.
And this is really indicative of what we are seeing here and just how high profile this case is and what it means to some of these jurors to be sitting in the room with Donald Trump, a former president. We know that he is sitting there. Yes, he is looking at some of the jurors, but at times he's going through paperwork. At times he's
Imagine.
they talked about their experience was just how
sulking 'cause
shocking
he
it
got
was
in
to be
trouble
that
and yelled
close
at
to
and
him. And
pushed
also
around
the
with the
pressure
broom.
of understanding that this is going to be covered by the media so closely, that understanding who this defendant is, what this could mean moving forward. And so this just gives you a real embodiment of why these alternates are so important. Yes, she hadn't been chosen to be an alternate yet, but you can see we're not even at the beginning stages. She had gone through several different iterations, been asked multiple times if she could be fair and impartial, and essentially broke during this questioning because it is so stressful. And that is something that could happen again to various jurors as we move forward.
I mean, the elephant in the room truly here, Dana, is the fact that you've got a
Is Donald
president
Trump. He
that-
is a fat elephant. He's got big old elephant tits.
Burning Man.
This is CNN Breaking News.
We're following breaking news. Our team outside the Manhattan courthouse where former President Donald Trump's hush money trial is happening just witnessed a disturbing scene. A man set himself
Watch out,
on
it's
fire
Bullseye from
near the
Daredevil.
location where they were going live. It happened just moments after the court impaneled the full 12-member jury, a historic moment.
It was. Let's get right out to CNN's Laura Coates. And Laura, you were standing there interviewing a guest when this all happened. And I know this was deeply jarring and affecting to watch this happen. Walk us through what you saw happen outside the courthouse.
Well, it looked just like this.
Well, we were standing, as you know, just outside of the Manhattan courtroom when history had just been made by a fully impaneled jury. And we thought we were reporting on that history. Instead, life would change the course of events here today.
Oh my God, shut up.
Near
Why
an
do they
area
gotta
that
make
might
it all
have
like
Trump flag that was
poetic and
waving in the
shit?
wind in the courtyard area, and a group of people began to scream. Our attention was turned toward that area as onlookers saw some sort of pamphlets go up in the air. Immediately, over the course of what has come to describe
so
modern
funny.
American history, we at first thought it was an
I threw some food at him, and he pushed it under the door, and now he's barking at me to get it from under the door, and he knows how to open the door. No, you got it. You fucking dickhead.
active shooter to look to the area where people were running away from. At that point, I saw a man lift his arm and appear to put something on his body, followed by flames that engulfed his entire person. It not only lit his body into flames, but the area around him. People were screaming around the area, and an immediate smell came around from not only some form of a chemical accelerant, but also from the scent of burning flesh. Now, we had people in this area, law enforcement is all around, including Mayor Adams at one point on Monday, who'd come by to witness the presence of police. Remember, an American president was sitting
came by
inside
to watch
this
the dude on
courthouse, Secret
fire.
Service, law enforcement detail. in
Have you
heart
seen
of
the
Manhattan,
pamphlet?
an
No, I
area where
have
law
not.
enforcement is well known to be.
I should
It's in
pull
front
it
of an
up, right?
Probably.
active courthouse. They all ran. You saw many officers who were taking off their coats, trying to stop the flames from coming. He has been taken away on a gurney. Now we see a number of people in the area trying to pick up pamphlets all across the park around us. Police officers, law enforcement detail. We're trying to get a sense of what was on those pamphlets as well, and we'll bring you the latest reporting as soon as we have it.
Laura Coates for us
I
there
have it.
outside the courthouse in Manhattan. Laura, thank you so much. And just to remind everybody kind of where we sit
Adolf
right
Hitler
now, we
quotes!
have the
Adolf
full
Hitler
impaneled
quotes!
jury.
Red
History has
alert!
been made.
Red alert!
Wait, seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Bring that shit up.
Like, here's this person. Independent journalist, okay?
Amazing.
Hopefully this doesn't get taken down. I'm not okay. You know what? There is no pamphlet, guys. If they're taking this shit down, that is a good point. Okay.
First ever former president to face criminal trial. It is moving ahead. We now have an eye toward Monday, where the judge is expecting to begin opening
Okay.
arguments. Now,
So-
as that was happening, we were talking about that
on.
news. Laura was talking about that.
Our
news.
story starts with
Here-
fascism. Don't take my word for it. Here's Hitler. Quote from Hitler. You know, more quotes from Hitler.
More quote from Hitler.
TikTok doomsday clock. Hitler was defeated, but the vast networks of fascists and war profiteers remained and yearned they yearned for total control. They knew the power of propaganda. After the war, America flourished, but it came with a message of existential fear. Favorite tool of fascists. Okay. Doomsday clock. Okay. Civil rights, hippie movement, who were there was the Grateful Dead, as Jerry Garcia said, we're not taking any kind of struggles.
Damn, bro, that's got to be like the gayest shit I've ever heard ever.
Here to set themselves on fire just outside that courthouse.
We'll, of course, continue to monitor that news and bring you the latest details as we get them. But we do want to focus on what was happening in court. We have with us CNN legal correspondent, chief legal correspondent Paula Reed, also CNN legal analyst and former federal prosecutor Jennifer Rogers.
Meanwhile, the U.S. government
you're
engaged in a
anticipating
brutal
this
act of
scandal here this
psychological
afternoon,
terror,
and
the Manson
effectively, this
family
is going to
murders.
detail what aspects of Donald Trump's
Bro, he's
legal
got
history
source
could be
number. There's a
entered into
5
this
here
case.
for a
Yeah,
source
this
number.
could be pretty fiery given the circumstances here, the increasing tensions between prosecutors and defense attorneys. And the reason they're having this hearing is because Trump and his team, they are seriously considering having him testify in this case. that is
He's
surprising
talking
to
about
many people
movies
because
like that
most
Allen
experts would
shooter.
agree that is probably not a good idea based on his previous appearances in other civil cases and how he's conducted himself so far. But look, his defense attorneys, they believe that he could handle himself and
This is
At least wrote himself off and not other
so during
people.
this hearing,
I would say that the most similar thing that I've seen this to is that Alan Shooter's manifesto. A lot of like pop culture references and quotes and things like that.
It
MTV
tracks.
sold a younger generation apathy, and then it's like a 7. Like, oh, here's my source, 7.
I mean,
Do
it
you
tracks.
see what's behind the curtain yet? Things escalated in 1988 when former CIA director George H.W. Bush became president. Now secret fascists had the keys to the kingdom. The presidents, Bush, Clinton, Obama, Trump, Biden, these are characters playing pretend, just like professional wrestling.
Hilarious.
going to go through what would be in bounds for prosecutors to cross-examine him about if he takes the stand. So this is going to be really interesting to watch.
It sure is.
The Great Recession, all planned, the product of Ponzi factories the billionaires built. He explains a Ponzi scheme to explain why the Great Recession is a Ponzi scheme. Through a steady monopolization of social media, they cemented the public into partisan bubbles. Yeah, bro. It's definitely more partisan and like inside lines than it's ever been. Idiot.
We have all of these jurors that have been impaneled for this historic jury.
Epstein
We learned that
mentioned
during this process, several prospective jurors got emotional during their questioning. Is that unusual for jury selection? Does it speak at all to kind of the unique and high-profile nature of this case and the pressures that exist around it?
I think it absolutely does. It is not normal for jurors to get emotional. Sometimes prospective jurors get annoyed, right, that they're going to have to sit and not go to work or do whatever they normally do. But I think it's just
when
shows
our
that
entire
pressure
life
will
is a
be
lie.
under,
The
right?
truth is our fascist leaders' kryptonite. A small movement armed with these truth-colored glasses will become a big one.
Jesus
oh my God,
Christ.
bro, you need to stop. Like, you're doing comic books, now we're doing They Live. The Emperor has
Your
no
boy
clothes.
needs to touch grass.
If you share that, he's not going to touch anything anytime soon, considering he's probably dead. If you share this story, you'll bend history. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then for footnotes and more information and a sea of proof, visit the papers at substack.com. The biggest lie they told us is we are powerless. Oh, they didn't tell us we were powerless. When did they say this? They're like, hey, you have all the power because you can vote. I'm pretty sure they instill power into us, guy.
Well, they try and convince you that you have it.
The safety concerns they may have, the fact that for the rest of their lives, they will be public personas, at least even if people don't know their names, right? They will have participated in a historic event. And then not to mention the pressure of deciding
also
first
the
criminal
title
case ever against.
The title of this manifesto is The True History of the World, Haunted Carnival Edition.
Amazing. It's just what we want.
All right, you see the New York City police, other officials now at the podium. We're hearing from the chief with an update on the man who apparently set himself on fire in the park across the street from where Donald Trump is on trial. Let's listen.
Today, you're going to hear from our chief of department, Jeffrey Maddrey, who will update you on the incident that took place. You're going to then hear from the fire commissioner Kavanaugh on the condition of all.
I'm just going to be, I've never seen somebody survive a self-immolation. I've never seen it happen.
About Chief of Detectives Joe Kinney, and he'll talk to you about the investigation of the incident today. So with that, I'll bring up the Chief of Department, Jeffrey Maddrey.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Shepard. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to try and talk loud so you can all hear me. At 1:30 this afternoon, right here in Collect Pond Park, which is directly opposite of a New York County Criminal Court at 100 Center Street, where the trial of former President Trump is currently taking place. We observe a male walk into the park. He walks into the center of the park. When he's in the park, he starts shuffling around his clothes. He opens up a book bag. From the book bag, he takes numerous pieces of paper, pamphlets out.
And that's
he throws
video
the
of it.
pamphlets throughout the park. and then he pulls out a canister and pours some kind of liquid on himself, a liquid we believe is an accelerant, and he lights himself on fire.
Here,
the male
Jack,
takes a couple
you
of steps,
can't-
lights on fire.
Do not
then
show
eventually
this stuff because it will get us banned, but I'm sending you some stuff to look at. Just
onto a police barrier.
if
and
they
falls
release
down to
his
the
name,
ground.
just Google
He's on
that or
fire.
Twitter
Another
search that
area in the
name and
park where some
things
of the
will come
accelerant
up.
Spilt is also on fire. Civilians, court officers, members of the police department, they run into the park. They make efforts to put him out. They use their coats. They use fire extinguishers. Eventually, FDNY responds. We're able to put the male, extinguish the fire. And from that point, we remove him to Cornell Burn Unit.
No
where
way.
Right now, he's
No
there.
way he lives. No way.
Guy looked like a nutbag.
Bro, go look at that video. I've seen it 15
Oh, there's the
seconds
video.
already. I can tell you he's dead. No way he's living. No way.
Oh, dude, this dude's just like, there's a dude lighting himself on fire and just filming it. Yeah, cool.
In a critical condition. At this moment, I'll let our fire commissioner.
Bro, he's on fire for longer than the other guy.
That is a very good video of it too. Jesus Christ.
The condition of people who also helped and who are witnesses over there. Commissioner?
Thank you. As the chief mentioned, the victim is in critical condition but is alive and intubated
How
at
is he
Cornell Burn Center. At this
walking? Yeah,
time,
no,
there were
he
four,
is.
three
He
NYPD
is
officers and one
dead. He is.
Does
very
anyone have
dead.
water?
Jesus.
officers, so 4 officers who had minor
How
injuries
is
from
he
their
still
exposure to the
standing?
fire. They are all fine. They are stable and they are green tags, which is minor at this time. We were on scene, as the chief mentioned. EMS did treat and transport the patient, and we do have our fire marshals here helping with the investigation at this time.
Good afternoon, everyone. So the male that's involved in this incident, his name is going to be Maxwell Azzarillo. Right? He's a male. He's born in 1987. His driver's license indicates that he's from St. Augustine, Florida. What we know from speaking to other witnesses and family members is that he arrived in New York.
That is a hard video to watch.
Bro, he's still on fire and the cops are like standing around.
Yeah, nobody has come.
Like, no. Like 2 minutes in, they like
Insane.
try to put him out and now they're just standing around.
Fucking crazy.
Sometime earlier in the week, we have his car being in St. Augustine, Florida on the 13th. So
Bro,
anywhere
he's
between the
literally
13th
on
and today,
fire
he
and they're
arrived.
watching
He booked
it.
Yeah,
The
none of the
police are just
people
standing
filming.
there.
Every
No.
single person standing around him is filming. Not a
Wait
single
until
person tried to
get
help.
2 minutes in. Get 2 minutes in and you'll
They're
you'll
running
see what I
over.
mean.
They're running over now.
Yeah, just wait till
Family
2
members today,
minutes
they
in.
were unaware that he was even in New York. As the fire commissioner stated, he's at Cornell Burn Center right now in likely condition. So the accelerant that was used, it appears to be some kind of alcohol-based substance that's used for cleaning. And that's all we have right now.
Carlos, why don't we go right down the line, left to right, and just we'll decide who's going to take what.
Well, his legs have no flesh on them anymore. So that's cool. He is not surviving.
Listen,
He
Mark,
is
after every
alive.
incident, we have an after action, and we'll talk about
Critical
if we're gonna
condition.
add
Bro
officers
is
or not,
dead.
but just so you know, we had a lot of
First,
officers
my
in the
rule,
area.
my rule is for
it is
surviving getting lit on fire is your face has to not be on fire.
Yes.
Basically, anyone once it covers their face, they're inhaling fire and they're fucked. They can't recover.
Yes.
So I've seen people have massive flames on their back and recover. But then there's also that one girl who survived a volcano
What?
in New Zealand. Yeah, the White Island survivor.
Oh, yes, but that's a very different scenario.
Yeah. That's like just burns.
Because you could literally just get a glob of fucking molten rock on you. That's melting through to the bone. It's not stopping. It's not getting that off either.
To the public to still walk through the park, and so there was no security breach here at all.
Did you get 2 minutes in yet?
Minute and a half. Dude, the
The
film,
propaganda-based?
the news cameras got footage of it too, which means there's high quality footage of it.
Yeah, they're gonna blur it though.
Yeah.
Almost like a conspiracy theory type of pamphlet. Some information in regards to Ponzi schemes and the fact that some of our local educational institutes
He's
are
still on fire.
So a little bit of a conspiracy.
I told
theory
you,
going on.
bro.
Minute 40, he's still on fire. This is insane. They're just
wait
watching him burn.
Now we're going to go through all this video, but what we've seen so
The
far
police are
today
literally
is that he walked from
standing
Leonard
and
Street,
watching it
he entered
happen.
the park,
Unbelievable.
walked into the middle of the park and committed the act. Very preliminary in dealing with the family so far. We just made notification to them that the incident had taken place.
Like, bro's dead.
How concerned are you that somebody was able to get this far in, light themselves on fire? Obviously, you said they're in critical condition right now.
2 minutes, 11 seconds into him burning, and they finally hit him with the fire extinguisher. Very cool.
Yeah. Thank you. We're very concerned. Of course, we're going to review our security protocols. This gentleman did not breach the security protocols. The park was open to the public. But of course, we're going to look at everything, and with the magnitude of what's going on around right here, we'll reassess our security with our federal partners. Like I said, we're going to go back. We're going to go back to the command. We'll talk to our federal partners, and we'll make decisions. If we need to tighten up security, maybe we'll shut down the park. This is something that we'll determine once we talk with all our partners, with the court officers, to make sure that with everything going on, the gravity of the event going on right now, we make sure we'll have ample security.
All right, Anthony, so from the video and from eyewitnesses, it took a few minutes for the police officers to get their hands on fire extinguishers. Was there no FDNY presence already here because of the obvious person inside the courtroom? And is that something that maybe the FDNY wants to revisit in case there is some sort of another emergency like this where EMS or fire would have to respond immediately? Because it took police officers to use fire extinguishers to get them out.
So Anthony, I'll give a piece out to the fire commissioner, but obviously we're working in partnership with courts, FDNY, all of the city agencies that need to be over here are here. But you got to also remember the park's open to the public, so there was no reason for anybody to already have a fire extinguisher on standby. Nobody knew that this guy was about to light himself on fire. So 2 minutes is a pretty quick response time to be able to get to a vehicle, get a fire extinguisher, run around, get into the park, and start trying to extinguish this fire. All right. But as far as FDNY resources, I'll let Commissioner Kavanaugh just talk about what she may want to do.
Yeah, as they mentioned, obviously we'll work with NYPD to review what happened, and if additional resources are necessary, we will place them
Yeah,
here.
I found a
typically for
picture of
any
the
kind
guy
major
that's kind of
security event,
funny.
which this is.
Mm. I figured out the problem and why they didn't react fast enough. DEI.
What do you think of this guy?
That's him?
Yeah, they're about to fascist Koopas, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They're the Koopa Troopas.
We have additional EMS resources on scene. Fire only sometimes. There usually is not a reason for that, as you typically would not have next to a public park, but we will work with NYPD to review that.
Y'all watch a super
I would have to
close
confirm
one?
what time they responded.
Look,
We'll get back to you.
send
We
it
do
to
typically
me,
in any
and I
kind of
will, okay? The one I watched was pretty
security event
close.
have more EMS resources on scene because there could be patients for any reason.
All right, we're going to do 2 or 3 more. Right here.
Okay. Is there any more on the fire?
Oh, yeah. Trump made a comment on it, I think.
Trump jury dismissed. Let's do that one.
Send it Twitter, Instagram.
On day 3 in the criminal hush money trial of former President Donald Trump, one of the 7 impaneled jurors has already been excused after expressing concerns that aspects of her identity had been compromised. We're getting reports there may be issues with an additional juror. Let's go straight to CNN chief legal analyst Laura Coates in New York for the latest. Laura, what can you tell us?
Like, don't be fooled by the jury weather behind us. It is hot in that courtroom right now. The judge concerned about the anonymity of the jurors. I'm joined now by Kristen Holmes. Kristen, catch us up. There were 7 jurors that had been impaneled already. We needed 11 more to fill out that 12 plus the 6 alternate jurors. One that's already been seated is saying she can no longer serve.
And she's been dismissed. So now we are back down to 6. They've brought in the 96 panel to come through and go through processing once more. But here's what happened.
Okay, so it was just a jury thing. Okay. I was just curious.
Just a poop in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, is attempting to figure out how to get an aid package through.
God.
There's some really interesting dynamics that are going on here. There are people who want to give military aid.
Bro, Laura Loomer just posted an angle 30 seconds ago with her fucking tag on the video. So now it's like, guess who posted this one? Laura Loomer.
The video that we just watched that is posted by someone else?
Different angle.
Oh. But it wasn't her. Oh
She
yeah.
said she obtained it.
Okay. Man, he's still moving. I'm surprised he's alive. He's definitely not surviving.
He's
though.
trying to put himself out while the police are standing around. You can see him like
Yeah.
tapping himself.
Yeah,
bro.
he's patting himself out. What do you think was going to happen, you dickhead? You fucking lit yourself on fire.
Aid to Israel. There are people who want to give military aid to Ukraine. There are people who want to give military aid to Taiwan, or in that area, I guess. And there are some who want to provide humanitarian aid in Gaza. All of those different cohorts, there's overlap, but they're not exclusively the same. And no one, or I should say, no combination of any of those four seems to be able to get through the house. So his plan is to separate them. And here's a guy who is ignoring the fact in many respects that, you know, he wants to make it a civil war, but that sort of like contends that there's two factions. And really, you know, he's got like 2 or 3 factions in the Republican Party because they have become so extreme that the margins between them, even if it's not that wide, are so deep that they can't seem to be able to do anything. Here is Mike Johnson basically trying to make himself out to be Abraham Lincoln.
Right now, we're in a political struggle, a battle.
That one that you just sent me is a great video.
Bro, here's another post from Laura Loomer to send to you.
Dude, he looks mummified. There is no fucking way he's surviving the night.
Well, you can see like how bloody his mouth is and shit. And they tapped his nose. They've like opened a port to his nose to get fucking oxygen down there.
Dude, his lips have been burnt off. He has no lips left.
Yeah. So they just have a fucking tube down there to fucking.
Mm-hmm. No, he is. If he survives the night, it will be a miracle.
Between a completely different vision for the country. We have colleagues in the Congress who envision for us not those things. They have disdain for those things I just listed. They instead envision that America should be remade in the form of some sort of, you know, European-style socialist utopia. That is a dangerous fool's errand. That is a road to Marxism, communism, you know, socialism. That's a step towards those eventualities, and that is not who we are as a country. And so for us to accomplish our mission, which is to save the republic, we need to add more Republicans to the House and grow the House majority so we have more votes. We need to win back the Republican majority in the Senate. And we need to restore Donald J. Trump to the White House as our nominee. I believe all those things will happen, but we have to have a united front, and we have to have our members work together. And we'll be working today to do that very thing. Look, we're in unprecedented times. Okay, we're in dangerous times, as has been articulated here, around the world, and here at home. We need steady leadership. We need steady hands at the wheel. Look, I regard myself as a wartime speaker. I mean, in a literal sense, we are. I knew that when I took the gavel. I didn't anticipate that this would be an easy path. The former Speaker Newt Gingrich posted a couple days ago on his social media that this is the hardest challenge that's faced a speaker probably in the history of the country, in the moment that we're in right now. He said, arguably, maybe comparable to the Civil War, but maybe worse. A single vote margin at a difficult time when the nation is terribly divided. The way we get through that is we show unity. And we explain how we have answers to all these great challenges. We have those answers. We shouldn't get in the way of ourselves.
Well, it turns out the Republicans are getting in the way of themselves.
Yes, he literally looks like a ghoul.
Especially when they ripped his nose off to tap the oxygen to it.
Fallout coming out just before this happens? Coincidence? I don't think so.
And let's be clear, the divide is amongst the Republicans.
Yeah, I think as America as a whole, I'm not a historian, but I think probably more united than the eve of the Civil War.
Well, I would imagine that's the case.
Might have been
But,
one of the worst ones I've seen. Yeah, I've seen like the one in Russia was brutal, but there's not like a really like good angle of it. It was at Navalny's protest. But like afterwards, the guy is like black and smoldering and all shriveled up, and like that's what I've seen, and like that was more.
The analogy would be more like we're on the eve of the Civil War, and the Confederacy actually want to enslave even more people.
I don't know. I haven't seen his lower body, but from what it looked like from the hospital, it looks like they're doing like surgery on his lower abdomen because like his organs have been like melted, because that's where the fire was staying localized, was on his like soft tissue on his lower torso.
That's what it seems to be about. Now, let's look at just before we put up that video. Here is Representative Scott Perry outlining the House supplemental bill. He is not happy. This is the sort of like top sheet, apparently, that was handed around yesterday. And I love this tweet that he had. This is number 5. And I love this tweet because he uses, if I'm not mistaken, the classic conservative paradigm rubric, if you will, that is of the ramming something down the throat. There is no situation in which conservatives don't seem to be having something rammed down their throat. Representative Scott Perry says, notice anything missing? Can we pop this one up?
Say car ramrod. Say car ramrod.
Speaker Johnson failed to incorporate any border security into any of the 4 bills he's going to ram down our throats this week. Somehow, Republicans and conservatives are constantly having things rammed down their throat.
It'd be nice to have like a search engine optimization type of guy look into
wow.
when you use
Laura
that phrase,
Loomer
does it
really
just juice your
milking
message
this
like
one
1.5x or something. If you're getting something rammed down your throat, be afraid.
Of course she is. She's the Trump bootlicker.
I would send this to you, but they cut and show footage, even though it's blurred. I'm not going to fuck it. But real America's Voice, it's on the phone. Investigative journalist Laura Loomer.
Investigative.
I wish I could show it, but it's too risky. Shows the burnings. Oh, lives at TikTok. He suffered from serious TDS, is what she said. And I was like, what is TDS? And then I thought, and I was like, trans derangement syndrome, I bet she means.
Speaker of the House.
I think it's Trump derangement syndrome.
I know.
Would be funny though. I wouldn't be surprised if they started saying that.
Always this problem that sometimes, like, people, people keep ramming things down their throat, and they have nothing to do with it. Let's go scroll up onto this supplemental.
Now here's this
as
person.
it's written here.
Laura
95
Loomer is
essentially
doing
$1 billion.
everything she can to claim the self-immolator is left-wing, walking around with an anti-Trump. Okay, bro. There's a picture of him in a Bernie shirt, and a picture of him with Bill Clinton. He's left-wing. Okay, no. Shut up.
And this is going to be an interesting sort of like, this is somewhat revealing, and I haven't read anything too deep into this, but stay right there. This Ukraine, $48.43 billion, 7.85 billion direct support to Ukraine government, 8 million for IG. I guess that's the inspector general, right? To make sure that this stuff happens is doled out. Essentially 14 billion for USAI for Ukraine to purchase US weapons. That's in other words, like basically coupons to buy from our weapon manufacturer. 14.8 billion for Defense Department ops in UCOM AOR. I'm not sure I know what that stands for, but I imagine that's operations that are in support of the Ukrainians.
United States European Command's area of responsibility.
It's basically just like we're going to shore up our support. But this is also an interesting figure. 19.85 billion replenishment of stocks to the Defense Department. In other words, we've already forwarded $20 billion worth of weapons out of our own sort of cachet, and we're just going to replenish that. Israel, similar dynamic. $4 billion for missile defense, 1.2 billion for Iron Beam. I'm not sure what that is. That could be a missile defense as well. 3.5 billion in FMS for Israel to purchase U.S. weapons. I imagine that's some other form of like of funding to coupons to buy our stuff. 800 billion for ammunition plant improvements. I imagine those are their ammunition plants.
It's self-sustaining.
Gun coupons.
There's $4 billion replenishment of stocks to DoD. In other words, we've given them $4 billion of weaponry, and Ukraine is being invaded by the world's biggest army, or one of the world's biggest armies, right? And military. I imagine it goes U.S. and then less than half that size is China, Russia, other militaries. But the Russian military's got to be pretty big. And we've already forwarded them $20 billion.
Okay, Sam. Thank you. More Trump stuff.
The fucking link that I got sent. What the name of the
Donald Trump could be in a world of hurt over bond issue. Why? It got reduced to 175 million. Donald Trump headed to a world of hurt lest he come up with 175 million bond. John Gabrielson, an Atlanta-based market economist, told Newsweek that New York Attorney General Letitia James could easily claim cash in Trump's account if the president fails to post the bond. A court has rejected the paperwork for Trump's 175 million bond because it could not verify the financial backing of the posting insurance company posting. What? Wait, what? The court has given Trump and the insurance company, Knight Specialty Insurance, until Monday to show financial backing for the bond. If not, James can begin enforcement proceedings against Trump's property. Knight Specialty Insurance. Is this like a fake company? How can they not verify that? Knight Insurance Group? I'm seeing Knight Insurance Group, not Knight Specialty Insurance. Knight Specialty Insurance Company has an A- financial rating. Okay, so it has some precedent. Like, Trump posted a $175 million bond on April 1st in order to prevent James from seizing his assets, but the bond was rejected by the court's filing system shortly after it was posting due to missing paperwork, including a current financial statement. They're not even registered in New York? Really? James, whose office led the fraud case against Trump, later raised questions about the sufficiency of the bond and noted that the surety backing it, Knight Specialty Insurance Company, is not admitted in New York, meaning it's ineligible to obtain a certificate of qualification from the Department of Financial Services. KSIC has refiled its paperwork as a result in an effort to get the process moving again. Dude, it's incredible. It's like an incompetence force field where all the time, no matter what, with no exceptions, like everything associated with Trump, just everything, it's all a clown show all the time. It's crazy. Jesus Christ. Gabrielson said the Trump's companies would not be financially solvent if the float required by all companies for daily expenses is seized by James. James seizing cash from Trump's bank accounts would be putting him in a world of hurt, trying to remain a going concern.
That would be hilarious.
I feel like this is something that I've touched on a bunch, like many, many times while we've talked about stuff like this, but I haven't really okay, in the good old days, okay, under feudalism, the wealth that a kingdom had was how much gold and silver and shit it had. Like there was a pretty direct relationship between resources you had and the wealth of the kingdom. And the reason for that was because they lacked the complex network of digital assurances that we have today, or at least like the financial systems that allow us to issue bonds and pay out debts and keep track of everything. And that made it difficult to track wealth outside the literal and material, I'm simplifying obviously, but that's the gist of it. Okay. So nowadays, that's not really how things work. You know how how Elon Musk was like the wealthiest man in the world for a while, 200 billion or something like that? Very little of that 200 billion was in cash. The vast majority of the wealth in this world is not cash. It's not liquid currency. It's not something that you can go down to the store and buy other stuff with. He doesn't have 200 billion in assets that he can just instantly transfer into cash. What he has is ownership over that estimated value of things, real estate, stocks, whatever else. It's the same with Trump, Now, the thing is with Trump, not only is the wealth that he holds not liquid in the sense that if he owns a $500 million property, he can't just, now he has a $500 million, right? It doesn't work that way, right? Like you have to sell it and you might not get the price you want for it. And even then, like there are complications and when you get the money and how quickly you get it and over what time period you get it. But not only is it not liquid currency, Donald Trump is also leveraged basically all of his assets, which means he's gone to a bank and he said, hey,
I sent it to the 5th gen account. Oh, not that one. No. It always moves on me.
I know when you click
and then
off
it's like,
and on.
It's like it might not be the right one. It's like, well, I can tell you right now, both the 5th gen accounts do not have a message from you. So whoever you sent that to,
I'll check mine. The tags are literally there on the screen. I'll have a look. I didn't get anything, so. Although if it was on Twitter, I don't have notifications.
I got
for
something
Twitter.
from someone else.
I got a message from 4 weeks ago in my hidden requests. I don't think that's it. Twitter.
The person who sent it, I didn't know.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't have the same name on Twitter. Okay.
The watch people die link? Is that what you were laughing at?
Wait,
Is that the link?
How exactly do you know that I'm going to pay that money back? Well, I'm going to leverage this property, this $500 million property. So you give me $100 million of cash that I can use to buy stuff with, and I'll leverage this. I'll put it down on this. So I'll pay you back, and I will, because otherwise you get this. So what these two things mean is that Donald Trump, while he theoretically has a lot of money, doesn't have a lot of actual money to pay the courts with, right? Money to pay the bond. That's why even though he's
it's like all those old school websites like Real Gore and shit. Just go on and fucking just watch fucked up videos. That's why millennials are so fucked up, because we grew up with these these fucking websites on the Wild West that was the internet.
I've seen plenty of stuff.
Likely, yeah.
So you mean to tell me you mean to tell me that you're Riot Girl? I had no idea this whole time. My mind is blown. My mind is blown.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, ah.
My mind is blown.
A billionaire right now in terms of his estimated worth, especially with the Truth Social market posting, going public and having its price go up substantially because people are meme buying the stock to support Donald Trump. He still can't just directly cover 175 million. Yes, the fact that he's overstated the value of his properties definitely doesn't help. It's down now. Yes, the value of the Truth Social meme stock has gone down significantly. Hold on. Trump Social stock. What was it called? Some Trump stock investors have already lost half their money. Fantastic. Yeah, here we go. It briefly hit a maximum of, I think, $72 per share, and now it's below 30. Yikes. Ooh. Oh, man, this meme stock lived and died faster than GameStop, lost more than half its value in just a few days. Value is still too high. Oh, the value is still way too high. It's just funny how quickly it's plummeting. Holy shit, the insurer hasn't even promised to insure Trump if his appeal fails. The whole thing is a scam. No kidding. So, if the appeal fails, he's just sunk then. Do you have a link to that, Senuage?
Oh, that's
Can't open
really
Twitter
so
links, Mike.
good.
Can he not get dinged for market manipulation or something with this? No, he's not doing anything illegal. The shady company backing Trump's bonds somehow just got even shadier. Not even licensed in New York, right? We knew that one. An investigation by the Daily Beast revealed that Knight Specialty Insurance, the company backing Trump's $175 million civil fraud penalty payment, is not licensed as a solvent surety firm by the New York Department of Financial and has not been vetted by the state's Excess Line Association, a board of insurers that provides voluntary audits of insurance finances. The reason for that, the California-based Knight does not appear to have enough money in its coffers to post Trump's bonds. Oh my God. So that's the reason why Donald Trump went to a company that's out in California and not licensed in New York, because this was the only one willing to do it for him, and they don't even have the money to insure him. The company, for its part, seems aware of its predicament. The Beast reports that Knight has not legally promised to pay Trump's penalty if the former president's appeal is unsuccessful. Instead, the document Knight produced indicates Trump would still be responsible for paying. Okay, so they're not even doing anything. Knight Specialty Insurance is owned by the, quote, king of the subprime car loan, right-wing billionaire Don Hinckley. Okay, that tracks. So this is, a right-wing billionaire. So he's not even, insuring Trump then. If the appeal goes through, then it goes through. If the appeal fails, then Donald Trump's still on the hook for the bond, maybe even the full bond. So are they just getting paid for nothing? Well, I don't know if they're getting paid. It's just Donald Trump is using them to temporarily prop himself up while he attempts to appeal the ruling. This used car salesman billionaire that Trump went to for help, apparently the Department of Justice sued him for illegally repossessing the cars of military veterans. What the dude, they're all so comically evil.
Yeah, they're billionaires.
Like it's all a joke, Donald Trump struggled to pay his bond. So he went to an unlicensed, shady insurance company that wouldn't even pay his bond and didn't have the money to, owned by a right-wing billionaire who the DOJ went after for repossessing veterans' cars. One of my soldiers got his car stolen by this mofo. No kidding. So this was all just a reposting of the Daily Beast. But the bond needs cash. A bond agency is supposed to give the court cash. Yeah, I don't even know how this Knight insurance company is supposed to temporarily sate the court, What is he going to do if the filing falls through again? Okay, so you've licensed and you filed properly, you've filled in the missing paperwork, but now you don't even have the money? So how do you do that? Why would the court accept that? Trump needs a Kickstarter campaign. They have tried that. He's just buying time. Yeah, he's just buying time, I feel. Do you think the court is going to cuck out and extend the bond even further?
I don't
be
think
like,
they
you
would.
have
I
5
don't
more
think they
months.
did, and I
They
don't
already
think
did.
they
They said
would
they're going to start
anyway.
seizing. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. Just like federal regulators require financial institutions to have sufficient reserves in case of a run on the banks, New York law limits how much money state-regulated surety companies can post on a single bond to 10% of a firm's total capital and surplus. Then how is this going to go through? However, a court filing by the company on Thursday showed that Knight Specialty only has 138 million in surplus, vastly exceeding the government set cap because the Trump bond alone makes up 127% of the company's reserves. Yeah, then it just fully should not, then this shouldn't work at all. In subsequent court filings, the AG's office immediately...
He is so fucked. Just everything he does is a joke, and it's great. I'm so here for it. More Trump. Then we go back to Abby.
President
Well,
Trump
there's
laughing out after learning that opening arguments.
there's the Sam Cedar stuff, right?
Okay,
About
send it
the
to me.
abortion. It's like it just. There's a few Sam Cedar things. I'll let you know when you found the one that's
In the
that's
fund?
the one. It might be in somewhere else because I said we'll come back to it because we can save it for Friday. But it's all
Okay.
it's the abortion stuff. It's like Charlie Kirk and Carrie Lake or whatever her name is.
Yeah, I got him.
It's long.
Like
it's long.
3 in a row.
Yeah, it's long, but there's like it's like the clips are spaced out throughout it.
Okay.
In his criminal hush money trial will in fact begin Monday morning. All 12 jurors and 6 alternates have been chosen by the attorneys.
What's happening here with the judicial system is an outrage, and all over the world they're watching it, and all over the world they're saying it. This is a giant witch hunt.
A familiar refrain from the former president, who is also claiming baselessly that the judge is speeding up the timeline for this trial to begin. CNN's Jeremy Herb has been covering this since day one, in court again today. What did you notice most today, Jeremy, about his behavior, his demeanor?
Yeah, Erica, what's interesting is seeing there's sort of two Trumps when he's in trial. At times, he's sort of aloof, uninterested. He's leaning back in his chair, his eyes maybe closing from time to time. Other times, he is very attentive and very into what is happening and what's going on.
Sleepy.
Particularly when some of the jurors are being asked questions about him, their opinions about him. He is watching them, he's studying them, he's listening to their answers. He's also particularly interested when they're talking about some of the stuff that annoys him with this case. And that happens, that happens quite a bit, not surprisingly. We had a hearing this afternoon where prosecutors are going through all of the other cases they want to bring up, the civil fraud verdict against him, the E. Jean Carroll defamation verdicts that have gone against him. And when one of the prosecutors raised that verdict, Trump shook his head and was glaring at the prosecutor. One other interesting thing, just seeing this afternoon, at the end of the day, Trump, he went to get up. He thought the hearing was done, and we thought it was too. It was wrapping up. But as Trump stood up, the judge turned to him and quickly said, "Sir, sit down. Please sit down." It was another reminder, Erica, of Trump is not in control of.
It has to be jail. He can't get house arrest. It has to be. They have to make an example of it. If he's done this much that they've actually prosecuted him, they need to put him in jail. That's what I think anyway. That's what I think that they're thinking.
Of his own movements there, and he listened to the judge as told. But this is certainly something that we'll continue to watch going forward.
Yeah, not a role that he's perhaps used to. Jeremy, stay with me. I also want to bring in with us Jane Rosenberg, who's one of the sketch artists for this trial. Jane, you were also in court today. You've been doing this since the 80s. You're doing a lot of Trump coverage these days.
All Trump all the time.
All Trump all the time. Jeremy was talking about the various moods that he saw. What do you notice? Because you really need to hone in on the details of all of these people there to bring us inside
what
the
an
courtroom. There are
allergy
no
day.
cameras, so we're grateful that you're there.
I know.
really stood out
I've
to
been
you?
sneezing.
I was glad I
like
heard his
crazy.
report because today I was seated behind his head and I didn't get a good look at his facial expressions. But yesterday and the day before, I was a front view, and exactly the way he described him. Today he was very attentive. I noticed he was turned really looking at the jurors who were being interviewed, very interested. But I also have seen him on other days falling asleep and like he couldn't keep his eyes open. But today he was really paying attention to the jurors.
So your view then, that gave you more of a view of the jurors today?
Today I'm in the, yes.
And so what did you notice from the jurors? Because it was a fairly emotional day. There were a couple of different moments where it got fairly emotional.
Not
People
yet.
raised concerns about their
I
anxiety.
say yet
about perhaps
because
being
it's
outed as
very
a
possible
juror.
that it could happen.
Yes. They're anonymous and
Doesn't Adderall make you shit?
Yeah.
Maybe you won't make it in time.
Who?
Trump.
Oh, I thought you were asking me because literally, I just took it and like I have that like it's kicking in now, so I've muted to fart and it's been silent every time.
and it's a little risky to be outed as a juror in the Trump trial. And even as a courtroom artist, I get emails from his base. You have to watch out. So I know the judge is probably being protected. Anybody involved will have to watch it. So
does that concern you? You mentioned you've gotten emails. Have you ever felt threatened?
Well, they say nasty things to me. I haven't been threatened with my life actually, but I once responded, and I won't do that ever again.
Yeah, I guess that's a lesson you learned.
Yes,
Probably
I
a
learned
lesson that you learned pretty quickly. Jeremy, as we look at the things, as we look at how things were playing out rather in court today, you're talking about the
Okay, I don't care about your waffling. Sam Seder.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?